Even though humans may not be set up by nature to fear the nothingness of death, they can quite easily be set up by culture to fear the somethingness of an alternative. The threat of hellfire can certainly set the amygdala ringing. That's death anxiety. But it needn't be so specific as fire. It could be just the threat of strangeness, the unknown, the uncertainty. Let's think of Hamlet when he was contemplating suicide. This is what he said. But that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. I'm not suggesting that the idea of a horrible afterlife was ever invented specifically to deter suicide. But if, as it surely is the case, it has consistently worked to this effect, this is presumably a reason why it has taken such a hold. Some humans undoubtedly owe their lives to it. Let's understand a little bit from the evolutionary perspective before we move on to the other aspects of why suicide. So when we talk about the evolutionary perspective, we need to understand that suicide used to be called self-murder. Fellow they say. So in an evolutionary context, human beings came to understand, as no non-human beings do, that death brings to an end a person's bodily and mental presence in the world. A potentially devastating consequences was that individuals seek to escape physical and mental pain, might choose to kill themselves. Let us understand from the Indian perspective, according to the statistics given by NCRB, the National Crime Record Bureau, that mental and physical health are the leading causes of suicides in India, almost 20%. While the other cited factors are indebtedness, a significantly lower number of suicides, that is less than 5%. Other demographic categories include housewives, report the largest number, that is 18%, while farmers report 11%. This is a trend that is lasting over 2 decades, shows decline in suicide across most demographics in India, and also a very sharp decline in farmer suicide. So let us understand that suicide is caused by many factors, and there is empirical evidence to believe that this phenomena could be a contagion in India. Suicide contagions are typically very high publicized suicide outbreaks. Another likely contagion in India could be the suicides of students around exam times. This phenomena requires immediate policy intervention for sure, for which we need to have deeper understanding of factors and triggers that contribute to suicide, rather than taking it as a crime or rather than taking it as some kind of a weakness. So we have to understand that it is a cluster of different aspects that lead us to this destructive aspect of life. So whenever we see someone in distress, there are hardly few people who would be talking out and saying, "How are you feeling today?" or "What's happening to you?" Rather, we redirect by saying, "What's wrong with you? You're overreacting. You're overthinking." A person was not born with the idea of coming to this life and not celebrating it, but trying to end. As I said, it's ending your mental and physical ailment. So all we need is some kind of understanding for that. There are a lot of cases in suicide which we never expected. We thought Robbie Williams comes across as a very, very interesting example. Such a lovely personality. And how he died. So we cannot say someone needs to be happy all the time. Always be positive to avoid and avert suicidal behavior. There are different thought processes which this person really needs to encounter, and that is where I come, how awareness of mental health should be a priority if we need to go down and understand suicidal behavior. Long term of helplessness, anxiety, hopelessness, not able to find a solution leads them to do such acts. So it is very important that even if we spend 5 minutes of our time with our near and dear ones and ask them how they're feeling and not giving them a solution, rather hear them out, half of the issues can be resolved. Have to be a little more tolerant and compassionate towards others. If someone is crying out for help for the longest period of time, let's help them. Because there are lots of undiagnosed and untreated mood disorders, substance abuse, depressive episodes that are extremely common. Most of the people, as I said, who become suicidal in response to recent events, they generally have significant amount of underlying mental health issues, which they hid very well because there's no understanding from people around, or there is no awareness. People are not even aware of it. So on this day, I can really ask everyone to be a little sensitive towards others. If anyone is crying out for help, doesn't mean that you have to help them. You can just hear them out. You can give them some reassurance. You can really save a life. And each one of us can do that. So let's take a pledge on this day that we will first make sure that we understand our feelings and emotions, so that we can definitely help others in need, trying to hear them out and trying to be a little compassionate towards others.